Hi, everybody. It's Mary Kelly, and I want to talk to you about leading through this virus crisis, getting your customers on board with you, and making sure that you are able to triage your time in a way that works for you and your people. Now, right now, as we know, we're kind of in a virus crisis. Now, we all know what makes a virus crisis better, and that is this. Have you ever had a bad day made better because of this? The answer is probably yes. If you're like me, the answer is definitely yes. And we're all in this industry. So we have to make sure that we are leading our folks in a way that works for them through this crisis. And it not only takes leadership, it also takes increased communication. We need to make sure that we're being more responsible than ever to help our people. And we need to make sure that our people also have the motivation, that we share our vision with them, that we make good decisions during this very difficult time, that we have a strategy to move forward, and that we are making the right influence on people, because frankly, this is what they need from us right now. So real quickly, before I get to how to triage your time and take control of your life by getting hold of your email, I wanted just to talk to you for a minute about 7 steps in a crisis. Now, part of this I learned when I was in the military, and we had crises all the time. One of my American admirals was fond of saying that the reason we do so well in wartime is because war is chaos, and we practice that on a daily basis. And what I learned from all of that, I just wanted to share these 7 steps with you. First off, acknowledge the problem. You are the leader of your organization. And when we talk about leadership, sometimes people are not as comfortable with that leadership as maybe they didn't think they were leaders to begin with, but your people are looking to you for guidance, and they want to make sure that they're doing the right thing. So make sure you, as the person in charge of whatever you're in charge of, even if it's just your family, maybe it's your other occupation, maybe it's just part of your community, understand the issues that are important to them and understand the true nature of the crisis. And then number 2, actually articulate the possible courses of action and the potential outcomes. People need to know, well, what if? What if we have to stay inside longer? I just want to share with you that since our last conversation, the governor of Colorado announced that they were closing liquor stores. Now, I know they've already done this in other parts of the country. Closing liquor stores, mass pandemonium. People ran to their liquor stores and stocked up because that was a big issue to them. So what if the governor closes liquor stores? And by the way, the governor then came back out and said, oops, maybe that wasn't such a bad idea. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. So prohibition in Colorado only lasted like 3 hours. But what if? Let's ask the questions and get factual answers. Number 3, calmly figure out your strategy with your team. Get their input, gauge their temperature. One of the questions I'm asking a lot right now is, hey, how's your blood pressure? How you doing? And map out what you need to do. Figure out your policies right now. Do those need to be altered in order to help more people? Have you already planned for a situation like this? No, most of us have never planned for the virus crisis because it's crazy. We'll never ever live through something like this again in all probability. And how fortunate are we that we get to be alive in this time? Has somebody else worked through what needs to happen? Maybe somebody else is having a challenge like you are. Reach out to those people. Now is when we talk to each other. Number 4, keep everybody informed. We need more communication, not less. We need more reassurance. We need more contact. Right now, when people are holed up in their house, many people are craving contact. When your big excitement of the day is when the Amazon truck arrives, maybe we need more contact with other people. Number 5, implement a crisis communication plan. And that means stepping up what it is you know so that people can make decisions based on facts, not rumors, not innuendo, not frustration, and not a sense of scarcity. Number 6, action trumps fear. We need to give people tasks to keep them focused. If you've got more people in your house than normal and they're just wandering around getting in your way, you got to help them get short-term sense of satisfaction by giving them tasks. Make a list for everybody. You all know that I live on my 5-minute plans and my checklist. So this is my productivity sheet. On it, I had to clean up some other things because I've already done a couple podcasts and it was kind of a mess. But every day I do what it is I'm doing for the day. I put the date, and then I have what it is the calls I need to make are, and sometimes the number so that I'm not delayed by, oh gosh, where's that number? I have my follow-up, because my follow-up is generally what I need to do for other people. And then I have any appointments, my times that I need to pay attention to. Again, in any time of uncertainty, habits and routines are more critical now than ever. And then my to-do list. Now I'll tell you, and I think I shared it with you when I was with you, I'm very bad about putting down what I accomplished today and my short-term goals, but those are really, really great to do to keep you focused, to keep you on track, and to make sure that you are getting accomplished what you need to do. Again, during any crisis, it is very natural for people to huddle, to circle the wagons, to feel a sense of scarcity. And we need each other right now more than ever. And of course, we need what it is you provide. And then number 7, provide a reassurance with your attitude and your action. Calm is contagious. Folks, we will get through this. We have been through worse in some way, shape, or form. This is a crisis, but it's something that we are figuring it out, and we will manage it. So with that as a preamble, how do you manage your email with military precision? How do you do this? So for many of us, our email is completely out of control. And again, during this time, it may have blown up even more. We are struggling to get through emails, and in some cases, we've just given up. And when I get to do live audiences and it's not people who work together, I will ask the question, I'll pull out a $20 bill and say, pull out your phone. And the person who has the most unread emails gets $20. And I had one young lady have 84,000 unread emails. So folks, if your team or anyone on your team, or maybe you have all of these unread emails, that's stuff that's falling through the cracks. And we need to try to fix that. And it's your job to help your people when they're feeling overwhelmed by the amount of emails they're getting. And many of us do. So I wanted to share with you, I've got 3 different tactics that I take so that I'm not spending hours a day wading through emails that are not important. And then I do worry about maybe I'm missing something, and this is why I use technology in order to train my emails. So the first thing I talk to you about is I use a service called Sane, S-A-N-E. Now, Sane allows me to sort my emails in a way that works best for me. So if I get something from one of you, it goes into my inbox, and that's my priority. So anything from my family, my clients, my close friends, and that's you, goes into my inbox. And then other emails get dumped into Sane later. Those are things I need to address, but they're not my top priority. And then I also have Sane newsletter, and my Sane newsletter are other people's newsletters, updates, maybe it's sales from stores I like, things like that. Things I want to stay on top of, I don't want to trash right away, but they're not anywhere close to priority. And again, I can do them at night while I am enjoying this Cabernet. So we have to make sure that our people are not feeling frustrated and that we are helping them triage their time. So that's one of my, that's my first tool for you. It's called Sane. I think I'm not an affiliate. I think it costs me about $5 a month, and I'm going to show you how it works. Because we all know that in the military, a badly formatted email can be the difference between a good mission and a bad mission. Communication is huge. And for some people, we're ignoring stuff that just doesn't matter to us. And right now we're hanging on to the things that are the top priority. And in doing the research for this, I found that email takes up a lot of time. And per week, we probably spend over 13 hours just wading through emails. About a third of our work is actually responding to emails. Now, emails are somebody else's task to you. Maybe they didn't want to do it, so they sent it to you. Hey, what about this? And sometimes we take on other people's tasks in a way that we don't necessarily need to do that. And about 13% of all emails are spam. Now, real quickly, one of the fun things you can do, this is just an ancillary bonus tip, is while you've got some time, go into your email and click on the search button. And I got this tool from my friend Beth Z. She is your nerdy best friend at yournerdybestfriend.com. I get a lot of tech advice from her. And she says, go into your search function and type the word unsubscribe. And that's everything that you may have subscribed to, and go in there and see the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things you've subscribed to, and go in and delete the things that you just don't care about anymore. By the way, I hope that doesn't include productiveleaders.com, Mary's email. All right, so here's the solution to managing emails. So first, like I said, sane box. Sane, a lot of people are saying, well, but if I let technology sort my email for me, I might miss something. I totally get it. I can't miss something from you. You are critically important to me. So Sane will send you these things, and it starts you out small. It'll say, please train your emails. Here are things that we think are maybe unread and unimportant emails, and you open this, and then you can go in and sort your emails. And it only takes about a minute, and it kind of looks like this. So they'll say, this newsletter, where does that go to? In my case, that goes to my Sane newsletters where it's supposed to. This is a newsletter, it goes to newsletters. But other things will come in and they'll say, do you want it to go in your priority box or your Sane later box? So you just click on it and say, yes, this is exactly where it should be, or no, I want this to be in my priority. And then you can just say, hey, got it. This all looks good. And again, it allows me to wake up every morning, and instead of getting 600 emails in my inbox, I get about 10, my top ones that I need to respond to. And then if it's something that I have to follow up on, I put it in my follow-up or in my to-do section, because that keeps me focused for the day. And right now, folks, in a time of crisis, focus is tough. So let's help our people help us focus as well. In the military, we use that subject line with action keywords. So what do you do in your subject line? Please don't put, hey, just an update from Mary. No, that's terrible. What people need is what it's about. If I'm just checking in with you, or I need to buy more wine, I'm going to throw that in the subject line. I'm going to say, Mary needs more wine. And that's the first thing they see, because remember, over 50% of us, we're getting our emails on our phone. So help people triage their emails by using that subject line in a way that works. If you're forwarding something, take out the word forward. Or if it's not something you need to pay attention to, you can just say information. And let me show you how I do that. So just something like, hey, how are you? That's terrible. That's going to go in the junk box, and nobody's going to do that. So I use a system called DICE. Now, the military had kind of an idea for this, but I have adapted this for my teams and my businesses and my clients, and I hope it helps you. So DICE stands for Decide, Information, Coordinate, and Execute. Or act. Execute might be a negative term for some people, but execution is getting things done, or action, whatever works for you. DICE just seemed like a much easier acronym to use. And I love acronyms, as you know. So first, in that first item of that subject keyword, we're going to put one of these words: decide, info, cord, we shorten it to cord or coordination, and then execute or act. And that tells the recipient what it is they need to do with that email. So if somebody on my team sends me something that says decide, what it tells me is I need to make a decision so that the rest of my team can move forward. If it's coordination, then the other people who are copied on that email, that is going to be one of those reply alls, and I've got to coordinate with other people. And having said that, please don't be one of those people who hits reply all, thanks, that was, whatever. Please don't be one of those people. If you want to say thank you to somebody, just direct it to that one person. And then coordinate, that means that you have to consider other people. I'm sorry, so I already covered coordination, but coordination means other people are relying on you, so they can't move forward without you. And I was trying to give you an example that I may have mentioned, that Gary Ridge, who's the CEO of WD-40, he said, I can't be the person who's holding up everybody else. So that whole idea of decide and coordination, that implies action on your part that does impact other people. Now, info. Info is, hey, we're coming out with this. It's good information. You can read it later. If it's something that you need now, then it's info now. But information is, okay, it's nice to have, but it's not necessary for you to act right now. And then execution means you have a task, and with any of those things that require action on your part, in that subject key line, we not only put decide, info, coordinate, execute, or act, but we put the topic, what this is. Decide on the color of napkins by Friday. There's always, always, always a deadline if there's action required, because our brains respond to deadlines. I know I've mentioned it, but have you ever written a paper the night before something was due? When somebody says, this is due by Friday, or the price goes up by 30%, when you're trying to ship something out and all of a sudden it's free shipping until Friday, you order it by Friday. People need deadlines. Deadlines make people act. So this is the DICE method. So we use our keywords and we use dice to tell people what it is they need to do. So here's just a couple examples. So decide. Decide now because it's going to cost you money. Here's information from the last session when we all got together. Please coordinate this with the people you said you'd get back to, or execute this plan until this particular time. The other thing the military does, and the Air Force does this better than anybody, it's called bluff. Bottom line up front, which means I'm not necessarily going to send a note back to Melissa or Miriam and saying, hey, it was so great to see you. I hope everything's going great. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're surviving this whole virus crisis okay. How's your wine? Hold it. I'm not going to do that. The bottom line up front has to tell them right away, again, if they're getting this on their phone, what they need to know in one sentence. The who, what, when, where, why. The pleasantries are understood. It is understood, and I hope it's understood, that if I send you an email, that there is love and adoration and affection and all those nice things. That's all understood. Bluff is the bottom line up front, is the who, what, when, where, why. What does this person care about in this email? What do you have to know? Hey, I need more wine. That's the top thing. Mary needs more wine. Mary needs wine. Bottom line up front. Mary needs more wine by this time with a deadline. So for example, you can say, we will make our emails more efficient. By the end of the week, we're going to be closing our files for the month. Do you need an extension? Is there something we can do to help you? We have to make it easy for people to get through our tasks that we're giving them so that we can get on with doing the things we need to do. So here's an absolute meeting example. The bottom line is we had to reschedule the weekly update on Thursday because the CFO schedule didn't allow us to meet earlier. And then we put the background underneath it. The other thing you can do to help your people get through emails better is please stop using paragraphs. Now, I love books. You know, I love books. I've written lots of them, and I use paragraphs, but my paragraphs have gotten shorter over the years, and I'm using more bullets and more lists because it's easier for people to scan what it is they need to do quickly. Our brain responds to bullets. So here's how you can do this. You can create the background afterwards, and then at the bottom, you know, I adore you. Have a great day, Mary. And then I've summarized all this for you in a 5-minute plan on email management. And it talks about how to triage the email, again, using those keywords in the subject line, making sure you include deadlines when there's a deadline, and using that bluff, that bottom line up front. And then you're going to use the DICE system. Decide, information, coordinate, execute, or act. Like I said, add in the deadlines, add in the first line that tells people what it is they need to do so that they can take quick action and get things done for you. And then, like I say, I use a version of my productivity sheet each and every day, and especially now. It helps me regain that sense of control. It allows me to move away from the fear that a lot of people are experiencing and into a place of activity. Keep in mind, when you are helping people get your product, it makes them better off, not worse. These are people who love your product, they adore you, so let's help them by staying focused and getting done what we need to do. And then for many of us, I know that right now it is hard in a time of scarcity when people are feeling fearful to really count our blessings. So this is one of the 5-minute plans I think I may have mentioned with you before. It's the 5-minute gratitude plan. And what this does is it neurologically changes the synapses in our brain. So the synapses in our brain, it's kind of like a river. And when there's a flood of the river, you know, the river banks get further and further apart. And what gratitude does over 30 days is it pushes those river banks back together again, making it easier for the synapses to jump back and forth. I'm pretty sure a neurologist would have a different way of explaining that. But what gratitude does is it clears our brain of unnecessary things and it changes the synapses. So I just encourage you to think about every day printing out a gratitude sheet, and at the end of every day, filling this out and talk about, hey, 5 things that went well today. So I'll just share with you, well, I've got wine and I've got cheese and I have bacon, so I can last a long time. 5 things I accomplished today. So you're going to write that down. 5 things I didn't need to worry about today. Because if you watch the news right now and you get inundated with bad news, sometimes it causes us to worry about things that we have no control over and we can't change. 5 people I appreciated today. And wouldn't it be nice if you just sent that person a quick note? Hey, Melissa, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you. Or 5 things I can do to make tomorrow great. Plan it out so that's what you go to sleep with in your head. Again, your brain likes activity and it likes positive activity. It wants to focus on solutions. And then gratitude does make us better learners. So if you're thinking about, wow, and I know a lot of people are thinking now is a great time to learn something new. Learn a new word every day. Learn a new foreign language word every day. Read a chapter of a book every day. Do something where it allows us to be even better. And let's practice gratitude throughout this, because that, I think, makes us better humans. As some of you know, I did talk about the fact that I've got this new book coming out, and it's all about how to deal as leaders with transition and change. And there's a workbook that goes with the book. The book is the white cover. It's on Amazon. The workbook is also on Amazon. I don't want you to buy the workbook, though. If you do decide to get the book, this is sort of a shameless plug, sorry, but I talked about it and I wanted to loop back with you. I will send you the e-workbook, which is it's like $30. It's expensive. It's full color, but it's beautiful. I'll send it to you for free if you think it would help. Just send me the receipt from the Amazon purchase, and I'm more than happy to get that to you. So you all know how to get hold of me. I am here for you. And right now I've got time. Most of our live events have been canceled, which is why I've got time, and you maybe have time too. So if you get stuck or you're feeling a little sad and you're thinking, gosh, I wonder if Mary has time, the answer is I do. So let's have happy hour together. Stay strong, stay safe, and remember that what you do is critically important to everyone. So thank you, my friends, so much for being with me today. Have an awesome day.